Wow, I cannot believe we are already moving on to form. I feel like these weeks are just going by so quickly. So last week we talked about shapes. We used our lines to create shapes to make a picture, and our shapes were two-dimensional. That means that they were flat on the surface. So if I were to draw a picture of a sailboat, for instance, there's my sailboat. Okay. If something is two dimensions, it means that we can really just see how long it is and also how tall it is. We can only see the front of this sailboat. We can't really see the side. We can't see the back. We can just see one part of the sailboat. Now, if something is 3D, it means that you can see the front, the side, the back. If it's a small sailboat, you can hold it in your hand. If it's a large sailboat, you can walk around it. This sailboat I can hold in my hands. This is a three-dimensional sculpture. It is made out of different forms that have been placed together to make a sailboat. So we can look at it from the bottom, the front, the sides, the back. I can hold it and turn it. I can't pick this two-dimensional sailboat off the paper, but I can hold this one in my hands. So here we have our large sailboat sculpture that's outside of Woodland Elementary. And again, if we were just looking at it from the front, we can really just see how tall it is and also how long it is. But we can walk around this sculpture. We can see what it looks like from the side angle. We can see what it looks like from the back. So even though I can't hold it in my hand, we can still see it from all the different angles. So this sailboat is three-dimensional sculpture. Today, we are going to be creating a three-dimensional paper sculpture. It can be abstract, which means that it doesn't really look like a specific object. It just focuses on colors and lines and shapes. Or you can create your paper sculpture to represent something or to look like something. I like the idea of just trying to build something without a plan and to see what I came up with, and I really love it. To get started, you're going to write your name in the bottom corner of your paper, just like this. Now, because we're making our sculpture out of paper, we don't want to just glue pieces flat to it. That would be two-dimensional. We're going to make our pieces come up and out and around off of the paper so that we have a front, we have a side, and we have a back. And we are going to do that by using different colors of paper to create different kinds of lines, actually. So I'm going to start with red first. I think I'm going to make mine like a rainbow. And I'm going to cut a red strip of paper. Now remember, when you're using your scissors, you are only using them to cut the paper. Please do not cut anything else other than the paper. So I cut my strip of red. And if you were to just try to put some glue on here and attach it flat to flat, you're just going to try to take it and attach it like that, it's not going to stick. It needs something to grab onto. So we're going to make two tabs on either side. Now, you can fold your tabs to the inside, it's like little feet, or you can fold them to the outside, whatever way is fine, and you can do it different ways on different things. So maybe to start, I'm going to have my tabs on the outside just so it's easier to see for your example. And I'm going to actually make this loop coming off of the paper. It's almost like a little tunnel. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue stick. You can use glue. You could even use a little bit of tape. You could put the tape right over top of that to tape it down. I'm going to use a glue stick. And I'm going to glue this foot down. Just kind of press and hold it for a second. And then I'm going to put some on this foot. And now it'll be, you can make it a thinner shape or wider. I think I'm gonna go right here. I like that. Okay, so it's not flat. It's three-dimensional. Comes up and over. We have a front, we have a side, we have a back. So let's keep going with this. Because I'm going in rainbow order, I'm going to do my next shape in orange. But this time, I'm going to make this orange strip of paper have a zigzag pattern to it. So I'm going to take my paper and fold the corner down, almost like how we made the foot for this one. Just fold it down. But then I'm going to fold it the opposite way. I'm going to fold it to the top. Fold it to the bottom. Fold it to the top. Fold it to the bottom. Fold it to the top. Bottom, top, bottom, top, until it's just this little bitty piece. And then when you let go, boom, it'll spring into action. So again, we can take and glue it. And if you wanted to turn it into a shape, we can always attach, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, wait, let's see if I can make a star. I did this. There we go, kind of. Sweet. All right, so I don't know how I can get it to attach to the paper, but I'm gonna put some glue here and attach it like that. And now, bend it there. Sorry, I gotta slide this closer. I feel like I'm far away. And then maybe I will just attach it. Hold on. Like this. I'm just gonna take and make 2 more little tabs that are folded and add a little bit of glue to these 2 little tabs. So glue there and glue there. And I'm gonna put this sort of underneath this shape. My red one, oops. And if anything comes unglued, we can easily just stick a little bit more glue on there. I'm trying to keep the star shape, but I'm kind of squishing it. I'm gonna keep it, kind of. Okay, and boom, almost. That's not bad. Okay, green. Let's try something different. Instead of cutting our lines straight this time, let's try to cut a wavy line. So I'm just going up, down, up, down. And I have this piece here, but I still have this straight edge. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Up, down, up, down, up, maybe. Okay. Now maybe this could go through. Oops, nope, I just lifted my whole star off of my paper. Okay, let's do something different with this. This time I'm gonna fold my feet inwards. And put a little bit of glue here and here. And maybe I'll put this along the back side, kind of spread out. And sometimes it helps if you just kind of hold it there for a few seconds. It helps it stay. See, so that created a whole different shape. All right, red, orange. Oh, I skipped yellow. I went right to green. Okay, here's a fun one that you can do. It's called a spiral. So with a spiral, you start cutting in a circle. And I find it easier to turn my paper. Actually, let's just go ahead and cut a big circle out. So whenever I'm cutting anything, I always find it easier to turn the paper. But what I'm gonna do is cut. And I'm just gonna keep turning my paper and cutting. But I'm never actually letting the edge of my scissors go to the edge of the paper. I'm always going in just a little bit, and that's going to create this spiral shape. Now, if you go over to the edge, you'll just cut your piece off, and that's okay. We have plenty of paper for you to practice. Even if it's not perfect, go ahead and use it anyway, just in a different way. You can always try it again. Oh, look at that. You can stretch it out different ways. Maybe I want to hook it to here and stretch it. Cut this hook around like that. Oh, I like that. Okay, glue. Oops, can you even see it? I am so sorry if I keep going off of the screen. I have to have my camera up as high as possible so that you can see, but that means it's hard for me to see. Okay, so let's wrap that like that. And again, I'm just gonna hold it so hopefully it sticks. And where do I want to put it? This? Ooh, okay, I like that. So and if you notice, I'm trying to put my glue on the colored strips of paper, and that just helps keep this bottom paper nice and neat. If you just put a bunch of glue on there, even though it dries clear, sometimes things stick to it and it can just look kind of dirty. So there we go. Look at that. Okay, here's the view from the front. There's the side. There's the back. So each time you look at it from a different angle, it looks different. I'm gonna turn my paper this way now so I can add some things here. All right, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Now this is a little something extra. Some of you might have these. I might have seen these before, but these are scissors that cut in different patterns. So if you're at school, you will get to use one pair the whole class, and after we're done, I will put them up to be sanitized. But these scissors can cut your edges into a different type of pattern. And also we can make some thin lines, and then I'm also going to make a thick line for this one. Oh yeah, I think that's nice. So I'll clear these off here. So for blue, I actually cut two blue, and I have a thin and a thick. So now I have to decide how I want the blue, and I'm almost wondering if I could do a middle glue part. Let's see if that will work. I don't know if it'll necessarily. I'm going to fold that tab, and I'm going to fold this tab. Don't forget to do that because it really does help it stick. And then if I fold it down in the middle, maybe I'll just make a little bend here in the middle and put some glue in between those two creases. Oops. Okay, so put this here and hold it with my finger. Put this one here. I'm just pushing firmly for a few seconds. Now I'm gonna hold here and put this one up. Oh, I think it worked. Look at that, boom. Almost looks like two little eyes. Okay, what should I do with my thin one here? I wonder if you can twist. Kind of. It's not very twisty. But what if we took it and rolled it? So I'm just taking this bottom piece and rolling it up. And we're just gonna roll, 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 roll. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Ah, that's interesting. What if I made another one and glued it in there to actually make it look like these are the eyes? Let's do that. So as you're creating your sculpture, you may find that some of your forms, your shapes, your forms, your pieces of paper are going to remind you of something. Yeah, look at that. And you can just go with it. You don't have to have a plan. You can have a plan if you would like, but you don't have to. I'm just cutting another blue piece so that I can make a second eye. Look how it moves. That's so fun. And you can experiment. I'm just making things up. This is the first time that I've taught this lesson. So I'm exploring along with you. So I cannot wait to learn from you as well, because I know with your creativity and your big imaginations, you're going to come up with some really unique ideas that I hadn't even thought of. Let's just stick that in there. There, look at that. It's like two little eyes. Okay, my last color is purple, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And instead of cutting along the long edge, I'm gonna cut on the shorter edge, and I'm gonna make a zigzag. So up and down, but this time very angled. I'm making corners on here. And I'm gonna do whoops. And I'm even gonna make a third piece. So if you want to make your pieces even longer, let's say this was kind of shorter than I wanted, we can actually take two pieces and glue them together as well. So let me take my glue. Oops, I should probably not have done that on my paper, but luckily I didn't get any on the bottom. And glue it together. And again, just hold it for a few seconds. If you feel like your glue keeps coming apart, just kind of push and hold it. Or you could set this off to the side and you could use it, you could move on and then come back to it. But I wonder if I could make this one 3 lengths long. Why not? We're experimenting. Let's go for it. I'm just trimming this flat edge off of this paper here. And then I'm going to glue this here. Oh, bah. Oh man, this is really long. Can I curl it around? Maybe? Actually, yeah. So I'm gonna put this part kind of flat. Oh, I just broke my own rule. Look, oh, here's the example. So here's what happens. You put it on the paper and then you stick it on here. And of course you can still see that purple. So hopefully it'll dry without getting anything on it. But then I'm going to bring this around here and see if I can connect it back around. I don't really like that. Maybe it'll join up right here with this yellow. Okay, so again, front, side, back, other side. Didn't come apart yet. Now, let me get my brown. Kind of running out of ideas, but I think for my brown, I'm going to try to make a shape. I think I'm going to make a square. So I'm just folding, folding, folding. Make a tab so I can glue it. Boop, just like that. See how I made that little flap right there to add some glue? If I didn't, it'd be very hard to glue these two very small edges together. So you just take one edge, make it a little wider, and then put some glue. And again, hold it. Now, the good thing is this is wide enough to put some glue on and glue it right to my paper. So I'm going to take some glue. Put it right on this bottom edge. And I'm going to push it right there. There. Look at that. Oops, my purple just went around it. Oh, I like it like that. It's kind of like that purple is giving all the colors a big hug. Okay. Now, I want something right here. I want something that maybe comes up, but how could I make it? Maybe I'll make another one of these spiral lines. Oops, that's not how I made the spiral line. I cut a circle out. Maybe I'll make an even bigger circle this time. And again, just like I added more than one color for blue and more than one color for purple, you can do the same. You don't have to have just one of the same color. In fact, if you wanted to have just 2 colors for your sculpture, if you wanted to have maybe just warm colors or just cool colors, so red, orange, and yellow are your warm colors, green, blue, and purple are your cool. Maybe you just want to use black and white. Maybe you just want to use your 3 favorite colors. It can be any way that you want. So what if I take this, wrap it in here. Hold on. Let me get it back to where it needs to be here. Okay. Maybe I'll trim. It's a little too wide, so I'm going to take this bottom part and trim it off. And I can use that in another part, or I can just set it off to the side. Oh, there we go. I like that attaching there. So I'm gonna put some glue on my colorful paper, not on the bottom part. Boop. And then wrap this around. Well, I really wanted it to take up space here. Oh, there we go. I think I got it. Hold on. There. It's kind of like a loop-de-loop. All right, so once you have it the way you like it, I can add another piece back here if I want. Actually, I kind of like that. It almost looks like the sun. So hold on. Let me add some tabs to it. Boop, boop. And let me stick it back here. Oh, I didn't fold my tabs the right way. Let's see if I can get it to stick anyway. Sweet. All right, so here we go. Front. Side, there's my little eyes. Back. And honestly, if you wanted this to be the back or the front or the side, you can make any part be your front. Maybe you like this side better and you want this side to be the front. How awesome is that? I love it. So fun. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed creating a 3D sculpture today using paper, and that you have learned a little more about the difference between 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions. We're going to be using form and value together next week, and I'm going to show you how you can make something that's 2D look like it's 3D when you're drawing it. So if we have, if you're trying to draw a cube on your paper and it's just looking like a square, we'll talk more about that next week, I'm going to show you how you can draw it on the paper to make it look like it's 3-dimensional, even though it's really only 2 because you're drawing it on paper. I will see you next week. Bye.